I thought this was kind of funny. On Urban Dictionary it says, scientist, a sometimes brilliant person who dedicates huge amounts of time, thought, and money to writing a research paper, but is somehow unable to make this research paper comprehensible to any other member of the human race. And being that it has 452 upvotes and 169 downvotes, I guess consensus has it. A scientist writes papers that are incomprehensible, for the most part. And I also printed out this little series of pages here. I will link this to the bottom of this video. The rise of quit lit. I guess that means quit literature, meaning when you leave something, a high position in some organization, and then you write about your grievances and you really let people know what's going on. You know, it's to publicly explain your choice to leave, to be seen and heard after years of feeling ignored, devalued, and dismissed. I feel that one. I'm not even a part of any organization. To be a role model for others thinking about leaving, and or to provide your own critical analysis of the state of the academy on the way out the door. Basically, you can get so much more information from quit lit literature, quit lit from academics than you can from actually being inside of that, or, you know, looking at all the propaganda they preach about how all this stuff is true because they're scientists, yet there are scientists in there that know it's bullshit and are leaving because of it. And one of those big reasons was from a lady named, what's her name? Alice Dreger. Says here, last month, I guess that's August of 2015, a longtime professor of medical humanities and bioethics at Northwestern University, who had previously criticized the institution for censoring a controversial article in a faculty-produced journal, publicly announced her resignation. On her website, she shared a fact sheet about her decision and her resignation letter to the administration, alleging that Northwestern's medical school was more interested in corporate interests than academic freedom. Quote, in short, I can't work at a medical school where my dean is allowed to censor the work of his faculty in the name of the hospital brand's welfare. End quote. Dreger wrote on her site saying she was planning to pursue research and writing that didn't require a university affiliation. And on the bottom of this little part, it says here, Oliver Lee Bateman, an assistant professor of history at the University of Texas, Arlington, he added, quote, academia is a weird thing. I believe that. It is populated with very intelligent, motivated, and brilliant people. I don't doubt that either. Who are operating in a system that is simply defective to the point of impeding on the very ability of these individuals to engage in a true search for knowledge. In this sense, I am leaving research academia for the same reason that I joined it 12 years ago, in search for a better way to satisfy my hunger for a scientific understanding of the world. And it goes over here and just really gets to the point. And I think Garepi really gets to the point. I'll go ahead and quote him. Quote, by creating a highly competitive environment that relies on the selection of researchers based on their scientific productivity, as it is referred to, we have populated the scientific community with what I like to call chickens with no head. That is, researchers who can produce multiple scientific articles a year, none of which have any significant impact on our understanding of the world, end quote. Quote, because of this, science is moving forward similarly to how a headless chicken walks, with no perceivable goal. And the reason that is because of the lady Dreger, who actually went over it in a previous statement. Deans and editors are allowed to censor the work of academics and faculty in the name of the university and or hospital brand's welfare. The people in charge make it their interest to hold down any kind of controversial or stuff that they don't want to be threatening to that university or hospital's name brand, regardless of if it's correct and or scientifically valuable information. They don't want that inside of the universities or hospitals. They want to make sure that that organization stays healthy and that nobody rocks the boat. So, in other words, her decision to pursue research and writing that didn't require university affiliation was an excellent decision. Good job on you, Ms. Strager. I've learned through my own experience, and also it resonates deep inside of me. You know, I kind of felt it as I was going through college, that professors, they don't want you to think on your own. They want you to repeat what they tell you so you could get good grades and move on to the next class, and repeat what the next class tells you, good grades, and do the same thing over and over again until you have your degree. And then you go into your master's programs, and then you repeat the same things over and over and over and over again, and your mind becomes more narrow. And then they expect you to continue on to get your PhD. But then they say, you know, the PhD is supposed to be original research. But, you know, that's not true at all. What they want you to do is to take what they already believe, spin it, and then regurgitate it right back out again to make it seem as if it's an original idea. Because if the PhD, or the people who approve the PhD, if anybody catches word that they approve something that all these other guys don't believe, or it threatens the university's brand or the hospital's brand, it just won't see the light of day. And to make any kind of real earth-shattering, mind-altering human progress in the name of society and of the human race in general, chances are there's going to be research that's highly controversial and is considered wrong currently, right now, regardless of how many people believe the antithesis of the idea. So, in essence, what we have here is a realization that I'm not crazy after all. When people have major issues, they speak up about them, and I think that's the best option to take, regardless of how many people are going to consider them as cranks or crackpots, or that they can't hack that world of academia. I think that's nonsense. What people should realize is that there are many, many, many hundreds of issues, and there's no one single cure for the problems inside of academia and or any kind of organization. Because what usually happens is inside of, you know, democratic things like that, the little person, the little voice that has the good idea gets crushed by the huge thousands of researchers that want you to believe in the wrong idea, and they get crushed, and they get, you know, they get the boot. But today is October 2nd, 2015. Hopefully people can really learn from this. It's not perfect. Academia and scientific things are not perfect at all, by no means.